Hi everyone, it's QuickyBaby and welcome back to World of Tanks, and today I'm going to be playing the worst tier 8 tanks in the game. So without further ado, what are they based on their win ratio in the last 30 days on the European server? Well, America, you're not doing us proud here. The T69, one of the classic autoloaders in World of Tanks. But just because it's a classic doesn't actually mean that it's good, and the T69 kind of suffers as not really having a defined role anymore. Sure, it has okay gun depression, it has okay armor, it has okay DPM, okay burst damage potential, but everything just doesn't really add up compared to something like an AMBT. And the fact that this vehicle is comparable to an AMBT, which has 360 alpha damage and an auto reloader, and I'd say a better turret and better upper hull, it's laughable really that you're kind of doing 960 damage, albeit in 6 seconds off the first shot in the T69. It's this weird branch that the next tank is the T54E1, which truly is a heavy vehicle, and it does some heavy damage output, with the alpha damage going up from 240 up to 390. And so I think that the T69 ends up as being this kind of like pretty weird stepping stone tank. Alright, so the game kind of wants me to spawn and go be a medium, but you know what I'm actually going to do? I'm going to do similar to what I did in my video in my IS when I was playing the worst tier 7 tanks, and I'm going to go and get into an advantageous early spot. So the T69, it used to have really overpowered gold rounds back in the day with 300mm of penetration, and its shell velocity is still great at 1,143, which is actually better than the... Oh, wow, hello, ELC. That's very unfortunate for you. And its shell velocity is actually still better than the regular rounds at 1,143, better than 914. For a while, when this vehicle first went into the game, it was outrageously good. A lot of people would play it and they would just basically spam gold with the tank, and it made it absolutely awesome. And so you had quite a lot of gold noobs already playing the T69. Unfortunately now, I'm somehow getting blocked by an IS-6 who wants to try and side scrape on me. I don't understand why he would do that. But okay, thanks for that, mate. Don't okay, whatever. So what we saw there is that the tank's abysmal penetration at 181 was just not good enough to be able to go through even the lower plate of a TNH 105-1000. Okay, I kind of want to get away from that IS-6 after what he just did to me there, to be honest. I guess I should have probably just loaded gold. Luckily, I actually have intuition on this vehicle, and so the intuition is going to allow me to switch out to a gold magazine pretty quickly, and then I'm going to wait and hope this Renegade is a little bit cheeky and comes after this IS-6. I want him to commit one more because he has the rate of fire. I wonder if he's going to actually drop back or not. Okay, that guy's... I don't really want to reveal myself. I want to make the enemies think that I've run away and kind of just relax here. And use that IS-6 as a bit of a distraction plan. That's what my plan is going to be for this vehicle. The only real good thing about playing the T69, if you're an experienced player and you do have access to a good crew, like I do, I've got a 3-skill crew on this vehicle, and you have access to the premium rounds on this tank, is that nobody else really does well in this vehicle. And you don't really even see them on the battlefield these days. And quite a lot of people don't understand how they really work. And they also don't understand that it's got fairly okay hull armor. Especially on the upper hull and even on the turret. I'll sit in front of most tier 6 and tier 7 tanks with a vehicle like this. Your armor isn't always going to work, but sometimes it will do. Alright, so we can see that the TNH 1000 has actually fallen back from that position. I'm going to switch out to a regular magazine and see if I can go after this LHMTV. And really, that's kind of the problem on this vehicle, of vehicles like this, a bloomin' Borask. This thing is, it's just laughable compared to a Borask. But hopefully, I might have the final laugh at the Borask here if he manages to reverse. Ooh, come to T69. Oh, wow, hello. Well, that's really unfortunate. At least we tracked him there. Got another kill. I should have repaired that there. That was a misplay by me. Okay, I didn't expect that LHMTV to be in that position, but I just picked up my second kill of the game. So yeah, stonks for the T69. Well, yeah, not really stonks, especially considering how quickly my hit points are going. Equipment-wise on this vehicle, I do think that something like vents along with vert stabs and an aiming device, which is what I'm using right now, can actually be pretty darn effective. Oh, this is looking really ugly, boys and girls. Ooh, is it going to come out and try and go for me or not? I mean, come on, you're a 703-2, and I'm just a T69. Have mercy, dear sir. Have mercy, dear sir. Maybe he gets bored and tries to aim at the other vehicles. I don't know. Possibly. He's probably got friends right now. Oh, he didn't get bored. Oh, he didn't get bored. But I should be able to loop in one more shell and just not hit his lower plate. Oh my word. Even in a nice matchup like this, this thing is an absolute stinker, boys and girls. It just doesn't have the alpha damage of other autoloaders. It doesn't have the DPM of other autoloaders. The way that this thing unloads, maybe it was good about 3 years ago. It just isn't good now. And even with gold shells now, I'm bouncing off the tank, and he's kind of just ignoring me in this situation. Oh dear. Well, all right, lad. Take me out. And hopefully also take me out of this tank. It was an unfortunate situation where I lost a lot of my hit points early because of the IS-6. Obviously, they really wanted to just side scrape on me, which is not very nice behavior, but it's just always awkward when you're playing a vehicle that is just so lackluster compared to pretty much all of the autoloaders on the enemy team, and just having to deal with it. And so there's absolutely no surprise in my mind as to why the T69 has the worst win ratio of any tier 8 vehicle at 44.19% average in the last 30 days on the European server. And unlike the TVP VTU, which Wargaming in theory are going to buff soon, this one isn't getting any mention. Alright, so that was a medium tank. Let's take a look to see what the next worst is in a class. And it is the OHHO! Just worse than the AMX-65T. Now, honestly, this one kind of surprised me because I don't think the OHHO is that bad of a vehicle. I think if you play the tank to its strengths, which is crazy DPM, and you get vents and a gun rammer, and then you try to make up for the vehicle's worst aspect, which is probably going to be its speed, I think this thing could be quite good. Maybe you could also drop the turbo and maybe use a durability device on this vehicle to be able to pump up the tank's awesome hit points. And I think maybe a lot of people aren't realizing that Wargaming eventually did add premium rounds to the vehicle's 105mm gun. I guess the reason why the OHHO probably has such a bad win ratio is a lot of players are probably still trying to make the derp work on this thing. Back in the day, the derp gun with those high explosive rounds was actually pretty nice on the OHHO, but now incredibly lackluster, and I wouldn't want to be playing it. So I have two builds on the OHHO, one with a turbo and one with coated optics. Well, clearly on a map like Mines, I'm going to be able to get the turbo, and I'm going to go and try and, I guess, support the hill. Mines for this tank could be a little bit awkward. Even when I get myself into an all tier 8 matchup like this, my armor really isn't even that special. Oh man, I just saw our credit income in the T69, and the fact that I only made 18,000 credits in that game and I spent probably about 20,000 on ammunition and 20,000 on a consumable. Oops, that feeling when you're losing 20 or 25,000 credits, probably even with a premium account, is kind of disgusting. We need a consumable sale soon, or I'm going to have to become free to play on my main account. What? That would be an absolute unmitigated disaster, right? Okay, so we're going to attack the middle of the map here. Looks like the UDES is wanting to make their way up, and they're about to get surprised by a Borask, most likely. That Borask is going to be able to get the kill because he's reloading in 3 seconds. Good stuff. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like I can stop the Lansen. I should be able to mess up this OHHO, though. Wait a minute, I'm the OHHO. He's the KV-5. Oh, I can't aim over the tanks. Turrets at the front. I should be able to shoot that guy in the side, especially if I load gold. These ones should be able to go in. This OHHO's doing a really good job, though. Respect to him. Wait a minute, I'm the OHHO once again. He's the KV-5. But we're going to start chipping them down. I think probably a lot of people bought the KV-5 to be able to use it inside the arcade game mode. Now the arcade game mode is over, you sort of see a lot of them in the matchmaker still. Boop. Okay, well, unfortunately for me, this KV-5 is actually giving it to me, and the reason is because of the turrets over the side of the vehicle. Is he actually going to lock me down the whole time? That's actually impressive play. Luckily, I managed to put a shot into him, and hopefully he doesn't lock my tracks down here, otherwise this could be really bad. Luckily, as long as he doesn't actually have my side armor, it's still kind of hard for a vehicle that has such poor penetration to be able to challenge me reliably, and I should be able to challenge his turret. And this is just, frankly, tier 8 juggernauts just taking turns at firing gold at each other. And unfortunately, we can see that the AMX-30 prototype has probably the best gold rounds out of all of this comparison right now. Oh, it's unlucky that we didn't manage to get the KV-5. Is that like the 3rd or 4th time that I've called that tank the OHHO? I'm the OHHO, for goodness sake. At least I'm blocking 2,000 damage here right now. This KV-5 is voracious, though. He's really giving it a good go. So big respect to the KV-5. And Wargaming wins in this kind of an engagement, right? 2 tier 8 tanks just spamming gold at each other, bouncing, penning, losing credits. Me losing more credits than he's probably losing because I am not playing a premium tank like he is, and at least if he's able to pen his premium rounds, he's going to be still making some decent credits from this game. Come on, Mr. KB5, come and take a look. And I guess this is why this vehicle really is just not performing very well. It's just such a stupid, cumbersome tank. Other vehicles that end up using their turrets, or using their mobility, or using autoloaders, or using higher alpha damage, are just so much more efficient in the game. Whereas a vehicle like this just ends up sitting there and just tanking and hoping that people make mistakes. Unfortunately for me, while I got a bit of spotting there on the KV-5, I didn't manage to connect the shell, and yeah, when you've got horrendous accuracy, even on a 105mm caliber gun, it's not good news. Some people might want to use an accuracy device instead of maybe vents, or even maybe instead of a gun rammer on this vehicle. But I feel like I want to have the vents to at least get a reasonable amount of view range, otherwise you truly are going to suffer. This is the Japanese heavyweight right now. There we go. Finally won my duel against the KV-5 by spamming gold at his turret. But, job done. I won my duel. Now I can go after the AMX, possibly. Or maybe I have to drop back to go after that Skoda. Oh, wow, 2 Skoda T56s in a platoon. Yeah. Oh, if that isn't something to worry about, I don't know what is. Although, to be fair, unless they're spamming gold at me, and even if they are, they're probably still going to struggle to reliably go through my hull armor. I'm going to tell this IS-22 that I'm going to be able to try and help him out. Need him to kind of fall back from this situation. And one of the great things about being a tall tank is that you can actually manage to shoot over your allies and use them as hold down positions. Obviously, let them still drive backwards and don't use and abuse them, a bit like that IS-6 did to me in that last game. But it's still an advantage in itself. Alright, so Skoda T56s. Kind of hoping that my TDs absolutely clap them. Maybe I have to drop back and go after the Ferdinand right now. Do you think the Skoda T56s are going to be able to fall back from those positions, or do you think they're going to hold there? It's a little bit tricky. I do have 2 ISU-152s at the back of the map, and I really feel like I'm going to have to make use of them if I want to win these games. Well, there's the Skoda T56 advancing through. Are they going to be able to try and get me in the turret? I don't think so. The OHHO's gun is actually very much at the top of the turret of this tank, and so that allows you to kind of be pretty proficient with your hold down plays. Nearly have this guy now. Oh, huge. Huge shots. I can't believe our ISUs didn't manage to hit him there, though. Wow, he can just literally just sit there, and there's nothing that I can do about that. That's so scary that the Skoda T56, when it gets in on a corner like that, is just pretty much insurmountable, even for the 250 gold rounds that this vehicle has. That's pretty painful. He's probably going to reload before I manage to get back. And this IS-22, I can't blame him with the way that he's reversing out of the issue here, but we now have an AMX who's managed to get a really good flanking play on us. So I think I just have to remain cool. I can't deal with that AMX right now, but what I can do is I can pre-aim, maybe if the Skoda comes around the corner over here. I can't go back any further. I can't. If I go back further, I'm just going to get fed by the Skoda T56 here, my friend, and you've got to watch out for that. So it's just one of those situations where I have to stay out of the way of the AMX, and we have to hope that he's going to make a mistake. And I have to try and keep my gun in the game here to be able to fight against the Skoda T56. Does suck for the IS-22 in this situation. I'm not sure I'm going to do any better if I turn around. The IS-22's armor is probably going to be a little bit better on the turret than mine. That's a different Skoda T56. That one actually came around. Oh my word, I might have his lower plate here. Huge again. Absolutely huge again to be able to penetrate that shot. Every single one of these shots could count right now. It's one of those close games. One of those close games. One of those close games. Me and the IS-22 are now back to back like battle brothers. But hopefully the ISU-152s are going to start to play, because we've got those big boy TDs at the back of the map. I got a little lucky, I feel, against these Skoda T56s. They're both on practically the same amount of hit points right now. They're in a clan called Calm. Well, hopefully I'm going to be able to remain calm in this situation, because that's all I can really do. Now, I know a lot of you out there are thinking, what, is this all you do really when you play the underpowered tanks? You just spam gold. Unfortunately, yes. When you're playing against a Škoda T56, every single shot counts. He's got 460 alpha. You've got 330. If you don't manage to get those shells in and try and use your DPM advantage, then what are you doing? Kind of not happy about the way that I played early on in this game against the AMX and the KV5. I did end up losing a huge amount of hit points to them, and I probably could have looked after them a little bit more. Honestly, the best way that you want to play the OHHO is kind of like an all-in aggressive tank. It has phenomenal DPM, as I've mentioned, and if you set it up with a gun rammer and vents, you are going to be able to overpower your opponents with your rate of fire. But as soon as your hit points go, you don't really have that rate of fire to, well, you don't have the longevity to still be able to go after him. Oh, it's so unfortunate that I missed that shot. He's managed to take the corner now, so I kind of have to respect his corner play. Is he actually going back in? He's kind of thinking about it. I might have a little bit of a peek here. I'm completely proxy spotted by the Ferdinand, so there's nothing really too much I can do about that. My IS-22 is giving it a blooming good go against the AMX-30 prototype. I think he's got more than enough room. He's safe. I'm not blocking him in the danger, so I feel like I'm okay with the way that I am right now. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to continue to aim for this location. Again, I just got to hope that these Škodas kind of make a mistake, and the ISU actually managed to get a shot. Come on, lad. Come on. Come on, lad. He's right there. No, it's not going to happen. Well, slow game on mines. Will I be able to come back into this one with our Super Pershing narrowly holding on against a T28 and also a T44? Or is this inevitably going to be just one of the most painful games you could ever play? Got to get my turret round on target as quickly as I can. The AMX-30 prototype is going to fight me, and this guy is now dead. Lovely. Škoda's going to push, maybe. What should we do? I'm bouncing the Alt Proto. I can't pen that Alt Proto in the turret, but he just managed to get hit there. He can't pen me in the turret, though, as well. Did one of the Škodas die? This is actually quite interesting. Wow, the Alt Proto actually backed out of that fight. Can my friend shoot that T28 in the behind? Maybe. Oh, no, there's the Alt Proto. Alt Proto's coming back. I hit him in the turret. Oh, my lord, don't call it a comeback. Don't call it a comeback, boys and girls. Hopefully our ISU-152s can go and be assault guns right now. That Super Pershing ended up doing a tremendous amount. Hold on. Am I seriously on a single hit point right now? YouTube magic happening. YouTube magic happening. We've only got 5 minutes left on this game. And unfortunately, this is sometimes how the OHHO has to just play. It just has to be one of those absolute weasels of a tank that kind of just holds on to the situation. Alright, so they've clearly got a TVP who's sitting in that position, which is preventing me from going up. That'll be the easiest snack in the side. I feel like I've got to take a risk here against the Škoda T56, because if there's only 4.5 minutes left on the game, I just feel like I have to take it. The Ferdinand is no longer proxy spotting me, which is kind of actually pretty big. So maybe I can go after the Škoda T56. He was last spotted in that location. Maybe he managed to drop back and go around. I know what I'm doing is risky, but I just feel like in this scenario that I want to take the risk. I want to take the risk. Because fortune favors the bold. Unfortunately, I just got spotted there. Which means that the Škoda T56 might appear from behind one of the buildings. Possibly. The Ferdinand's just going to sit there. Alright, well, you know what? New plan. Okay? If the Škoda T56 is out there, well, so be it. Let the chips fall where they may. I feel like we've got to retake the hill. Our ISUs need to kind of... Whoa, there's the Škoda T56. That's impressive. Alright, well, I guess I got to go fight with the ISU-152 now. This is what I got to do. If all three of their vehicles are up on the hill, we've got to go for it. We've got to go up on the hill and see what we can do. Come on! I really need these ISUs to come and fight. Alright, well, once more into the breach, my friends, once more. IS-22. Yeah, I know there's tanks up there, but there's nothing I can do about it, mate. We've only got 3 minutes left to try and win this game. He could just fire HE at me. Nope, I'm not going to withdraw. I'm going to push. There's one bounce. It's 2 bounces. How did I hit that rock? Oh, disaster. Ah, he got me. Well played. Gold round through the lower plate. I stand by what I did. I went for it. I tried to win this game. Draw is a loss as far as I can tell. And wow, that TVP was actually trying to flank me. Whoa. Let's watch this one. Let's watch this one. Okay, so we currently have one ISU on completely full hit points at the back of the map. I'm going to suggest, guys, go camp them on the... Guys, go camp them on the hill. You can win, maybe. Yeah, great. It's very unusual for me to be like commentating on a video that I'm well, not a video, but a replay that I'm actually in. Maybe the Super Pershing can actually manage to be able to go for the shots. No, no time to cap. Have to kill. There's no time to cap. You have to kill. Super P. No time to cap. Go help your friends. Oh, wow. Looks like the ISU 152 just absolutely smashed a Ferdinand from the back of the map. That's pretty huge. Looks like the IS-2S, or IS-22 on our team, is just going to be able to try and do some proxy spotting. And this ISU 152K is going to try and go after it. Come on, Arnie DK. You can do it. I believe in you, man. You're going to have to take some risks. You've got like 90 seconds left. So in this scenario, they need to be able to make plays. The Super Pershing is making a pretty big misplay right now. All he should have done is he should have driven up here and tried to be like a hull down turreted tank to be able to go after him. But yeah, that's not really working out. So, all right. Well, luckily our hero, Lit here, on the in the IS-22 is now going to be making their way up on the hill past my wreck. And I hope that my wreck isn't going to be a bit of a problem for them now. But it looks like it is. With a minute left, the ISU 152Ks are going to join up in forces to hopefully be able to take the hill. There's a Ferdinand. 3 tanks bounced. Now the Skoda T56 can go around the corner and get another couple of shots in. Oh my word, my ISUs are actually looking after each other. That's amazing. What an absolute bunch of mad lads that they're actually going to help each other in this situation. The Ferdinand bounces, ISU 152Ks going up on the hill, Super Pershing finishes Magical Mystical Tour up towards the north, Lanson bounces off the gun. That means that the Skoda is actually vulnerable in this situation. So now with 20 seconds left, all they have to do is to be able to find this Lanson, and my team is going to be able to possibly win the game. Come on, the last 5 players, including myself remaining, managed to pick up 12 of the kills. 10 seconds left. Will it be the IS-22? Will it be the ISU-152K? They both ricocheted their shots. No, they didn't. Only one ricocheted the shot, and the Lanson must have ricocheted off the ISU-152K. And that is a tremendous hold and a win in that game. I blocked 5,000 damage, 2,300. I will have lost a load of credits with all of the gold that I spammed, but sometimes you've just got to be that big old Japanese behemoth. And that is where the OHHO can still be a half decent tank. So I'm 3rd on experience, 3rd on damage. I lost not too many credits, but that was because of the 50k that I got from playing a little bit today. I'm definitely going to use the boost there because I won't be playing later on, and I might as well get a field mod. So what am I going to take? Well, I'd be an idiot if I didn't try and improve this tank's horrible accuracy. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. That'll be able to help me out for being able to get those clutch shots in. So well played to my team. Absolute pleasure to play with you and to be able to get my first win of the video today playing these tragic tanks. Okay, so we've played the worst medium, we've played the worst heavy. Why don't we play the worst light tank? And the worst light tank is... Oh, this pains me. The M41 Bulldog. Oh, no. Ladies and gents, boys and girls, the M41 Bulldog used to have a 10-round 76mm autoloader back in the day at tier 7. Now it's at tier 8. It doesn't have access to any of those things. So I'm going to be playing the Bulldog with 2 builds. One is going to be using Vent's gun rammer and an accuracy device, because I don't really feel like this vehicle needs vert stabs because it doesn't have the autoloader anymore. I think the accuracy device will give it more value. And the other build is going to be a full scout build with Vent's commander's vision system and exhaust. But I don't think I'll have the Vents in the scouting slot. I think I'll put the commander's vision system in the scouting slot there rather than the exhaust. So, M41 Walker Bulldog, a real good looking tank, and did I just get on Malinovica, albeit in a tier 10 game? This could be still a little bit of a struggle. Well, thank goodness that I have, bada bing, the commander's vision system with the vent and the exhaust. And luckily, because this vehicle actually gets 400 meters base view range, that is going to be more than enough in this scenario. The problem is I'm a little bit of a chubby light tank, and so it could be quite tricky to be able to go and sit in one of these bushes here, and I also feel like that's a low impact play. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell my team that I will spot the ridge over here, or I'm not going to tell them, I'm just going to click the map as to where I'm going, and then hopefully we can manage to get there and be a little bit sneaky. Alright, so this could be an incredibly long video today, considering that we just had a 15-minute round in the OHHO on mines. Not usually a map which lasts for 15 minutes. Now we're on Malinovica as well, this one could last as well. So the second field mod on the M41 actually is, I've taken a speed increase, but as we can see, my speed is actually only at about 64 there, so I've kind of lowered the tank's 68 km/h top speed limit. So maybe you shouldn't take the top speed increase, and you should try and focus on taking the engine power on this vehicle instead. Although I have a good crew, I don't have the best of crews, so also take that into account. Alright, oh my goodness, I've already been spotted. Don't do this to me, game. Don't do this to me, game. How did I get spotted? Last night, literally, I was playing the T-22 medium, and I managed to get spotted in that position as well. I think I was just I just think I went into the bush like a goon. I don't think it worked out for me. I'm getting spotted. That's very interesting. That kind of makes me think that maybe one of the light tanks has gone into that position. Or that maybe, who would have thought that the Walker Bulldog actually just has a really bad camo rating and that it gets spotted. Okay, where are they then? Okay, let's have a little bit of a peek. Okay, I'm not spotted this time. But it's so obvious with the bush that I'm in. If they don't blind fire me, I'll be very surprised. Okay. Okay, that's about as far into the bush as I can go. Maybe I can go a touch further. That is as far as I can go, I believe. And the reason why I'm doing this is because I'm a little bit concerned about the hill spotting me. Because once they get up on the hill, if they manage to get into those bush locations, we'll be in a lot of trouble. I'm actually going to turn my turret slightly towards the side to try and keep my turret more into the bush. That might help me. That Basante's about to blind fire me for sure. I'm not going to sit in that bush in that scenario. Although he didn't actually blind fire me, he was just looking for me. Oh, a little bit tense here, I'm not gonna lie. Thank goodness I've got the exhaust, right? The exhaust seems to be paying off. There is the little 1390 who's been lighting me up. Oh, Char Future 4. How can I avoid death here? Maybe try and use this building for a little bit of cover. Try and keep my gun on the 1390 for a second. Okay, I'm no longer spotted. The 1390 was in that bush location there. This is so risky for me to do this, because if that Scorpion's in that bush, I'm going to be in a whole world of hurt. But I also feel like maybe I can get close to it without getting spotted by the Scorpion. That might allow me to actually catch out the 1390 when they move. So yeah, when you go up into this bush, the reason why you see me driving around like that is because that allows you to avoid that bush spot. But unfortunately, as we can clearly see, if there's a 1390 over there... Anyone going to shoot him? How do I get spotted there? That's crazy. Must be a Char Future 4. Or maybe he's got binoculars and he set up his binoculars, and when his binoculars activated, he managed to catch me. Oh, how could you not finish him? How could you not finish him, guys? That's a painful miss for me. I really needed you to get rid of him. Say thank you to the Conqueror.
Thanks a lot.
Alright, there's the HWK-30 who was spotting me earlier. So what I can do now is I can actually slinky into the bushes like this, and I can go all the way, and there is the EBR. So I'm actually going to try and help my friends here. Oh my word, am I the last light tank standing on Malinovica? Ooh, the pressure is on, boys and girls. Alright, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a test. I'm going to blind fire the bush there, and if I get spotted, there would have been a TD in there. But I didn't. So that actually means that I can probably be a little bit cheeky and try and get forwards here. And hopefully that exhaust is going to take my big, fat American hull and actually turn it into something a little bit more sleek. At least that's the dream. Oh, did I just drive like a goon? I did. I totally did. The reason why I did that is because I really want to try and hug the right as much as I can to avoid the vision from... Did I just do it again? But you see why I'm trying to hug the right so that I don't get too close to the Basante. Because that would be fatal right now. But luckily the Basante's dead. I managed to get some spotting. So I can just drive up like this, and I shouldn't be spotted, he says. And that hopefully we can manage to get some vision in and try and become the American Scout. Now let me clarify something here, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. And that is that what I'm doing you couldn't usually do in a Walker Bulldog until you have 2 sets of equipment. What do you mean, QuickyBaby? Well, I've taken a second set of equipment, which means that I can have exhaust, I can have Commander's vision system, and luckily I have a decent crew, so vents are enough and I don't really need to use coated optics on this vehicle. But let me highlight. As I'm going to say in a video, I'm preparing a lot of videos right now because I'm actually going away for a little while. So I'm not sure if this one is coming before or after my game in the Bat Chatillon 12T. Spoilers, in that video I talk a lot about how unfair I feel it is playing tech tree tanks against vehicles like premium ones at tier 8, and because you're just inferior unless you've got all of the field mods. Luckily I've actually got this tank into a position where I have some of the field mods now, and so I feel like I am more competitive. Alright, let's try and get forwards and see if I can maybe spot this player out. Is anyone going to be able to... I'm actually spotting him, so that's not bad. And this is where this thing actually has some half-decent DPM, so we can go to town. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. Wow, 674 damage, 2,258 assistance. Let's go find the S1 for my team. Get through his bush with my Commander's vision system. Hopefully get some shots in, maybe get some spots in. Only 125 assistance? That's not very good, is it? Maybe I can even get a kill. Can I get a kill? A frag? Oh, not today. But, oh well. Not a bad result for the M41 Walker Bulldog. Although, let's be honest, this is Malinovica. It's probably the best map for a light tank. And the fact that I could still only limp out and get like 3,100 combined, it's not a great result. Nevertheless, I don't really feel I spawned on the favorable side. If I'd spawned on the other side and I tried to win that central position, I think I would have got a lot more value out of it. Whatever, man. I finished 5th and I did enough. I did enough with 3,500 combined. A half decent game for a vehicle. Playing this thing, I'm not going to lie, is so painful for me. This used to be one of the most fun tanks in the game when it was at tier 7, with a 10-round autoloader with 1.5 seconds, I believe, or was it 2 seconds intraclip reload? I think it was more like 2 seconds intraclip reload. You could do 1,500 damage, albeit in 18 seconds of the first shot. It was really wild, and definitely one of the more fun ones that you could play. Now, there are just so many better tanks that you could be playing, and that's probably why this thing ends up with such a horrific win ratio as 45% average. Alright, so we've played a light tank, a medium tank, a heavy tank. Let's finish it off today with a tank destroyer. And the worst one is actually the Yak Panther with the 90mm. That's amazing considering it's a premium tank. But I've recently played that vehicle on this channel when I was playing the worst premium tanks. And so I want to make this a tech tree video. So I'm going to be playing the Yak Panther 2? Really? Why does the Yak Panther 2 end up with one of the worst win ratios? I really wouldn't expect that. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't think the Yak Panther 2 is like a Rheinmetall Scorpion G. It doesn't have a turret. It doesn't have any of those kind of advantages, yet it still seems to have the same kind of gun. You know what? I'm going to spend a little bit of free experience here. I'm going to drop the 7K just to be able to have the reinforced suspension, because I can tell you, having that revolutionizes your tank destroyers. Now I don't have to worry so much about getting tracked, but more importantly, I also don't have to be so concerned about the mobility of the vehicle. I'm going to set this thing up with a gun rammer, vents, and binoculars, and we're going to get stuck in. So the Yak Panther 2 is now a collector's tank. It's not in the tech tree, but as soon as you buy a tier 8 German tank, I believe you're also going to have access to this if you want to spend the... How much do tier 8 tanks cost? Like 2 million credits, roughly, to be able to get your hands on it. Is it worth it? Probably not. But it's still in the game. And do you know what? I think this thing is a little bit underrated. Well, it doesn't have the best gun depression at 6.5 degrees, and it doesn't have the best hull armor. It's pretty much got like a Panther hull. What a lot of people don't realize is the superstructure on this tank is actually incredibly good. You know what? Why don't I actually just show you? So if we go to Tanks GG and we take a look at the Panther 2 and we take a look at the model, look at this thing's superstructure. It's actually 250mm effective. So this means that if you can find, and if you use your 6.5 degrees of gun depression, it's actually 300mm effective. And so this means that if you're able to find positions where you can try and make the hold down opportunities actually work in this tank, it's kind of voracious. As that gives you multiple opportunities about how you can play this tank. A lot of people only play it like a glass cannon tank destroyer at the back of the map. those players won't be playing the Jagdpanther 2 to its optimum capacity. A lot of players, on the other hand, the more confident ones, will know when it's time to actually play it as a bit of a, not an assault tank destroyer, because if you want to play an assault tank destroyer, why aren't you playing something like a Yak Tiger 88, right? Although that's a premium vehicle. Or you could play an AT-15, or you could play an SU-101, which kind of are more efficient. But the players who know how to get this thing into a position and use that 6.5 degrees of gun depression will actually end up being incredibly successful in the Jagdpanther 2. And I would go as far as to say it's probably one of the better tech tree tanks, although maybe I'm a little bit biased, because I remember when I played this thing back in the day, I only had good things to say about it, and the game has changed a lot. So we'll have to see what I'm saying about it later on. Oh, well. Yeah, it's the best tank in the game. Everybody should go and drop the 2 mil to be able to get it. Oh my word, I will take that with an ammo rack at the start of the Jagdpanther gameplay today. Let's see if we can make it 2 for 2 on a light tank. Now, I'm not going to actually repair that stun, or heal that stun, I think is probably the fairer term for it. You know what, I'm actually going to attack. Maybe it's just the adrenaline from the ammo rack, but I'm going to go forwards. I'm going to go forwards. Yeah, you know what, I think this was actually probably a little bit stupid. But if I can hit this shell, and then the super chaffee doesn't come after me, maybe I can go after these players. I don't think he's going to manage to get safe before I can get rid of him now. Ooh, oh, no, 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 no. Oh, I'm okay. Am I going to med that? That's only 3 seconds long. I'm not going to. And these people, they probably won't realize just how good this vehicle is. Ooh, okay, there's a little sneaky German sniper. Oh, are there 2 of them? No, that was just there's a super Hellcat that bounced at the same time. Alright, so we know that there's some sneaky snipers at the back there. Probably should have shot that super chaffee. I'm going to heal my radio operator. I should have fired there. That was a little bit of a misplay by me. But you know what? If I can get over a little bit, then maybe the snipers aren't going to have such a good time on my hull. I guess the real problem with this vehicle now is that it just doesn't really have the hit points. But when you hit for 490, it's still pretty meaty, right? Pretty slow backwards. I'm not sure if this vehicle will actually be able to get a field mod to try and improve that speed backwards. And I don't think the vehicle has enough view range to ever really get rid of the binoculars on this vehicle. Maybe if you had an incredibly good crew and you had all the field mods, you could use coated optics on this tank. Oh, hello. He's flanking me. That's really not good. Hopefully my team hold on here. Is this too aggressive of me? Yeah, I'm just going to keep him spotted and let my team get the kill there. I don't want to go around the corner because this bunker's protecting me from the Scorpion G and friends. Wow, great game so far for the Jagdpanther 2, showing you they can take the fight to the enemy team. Alright, I still got to watch out for getting shot in the side by the Scorpion G and friends, but I also feel like it's my duty to make sure I try and help out against the Jagdpanther. Sorry, not the Jagdpanther, the Chi-Ri. I'm going to say thank you to the KV, and oh, here we go, Super Hellcat. He thought about it. Oh no, I'm so low on health. I could die to the Super Hellcat here. I say could. Sorry, mate. Can I get safe? Thank you. Feel free to go after him. He looks like he's using the derp gun. That's not good. I think I've got to take the fight to this guy. Oh no, he thinks I'm running. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to just go there. Oh, this is a little bit tense. Have I really picked up 3,000 damage and got 3 kills here? Unfortunately, the AT-15 was behind me. Well, not... Yeah, he's about there. I think there's like an AT-15 there. Okay, I think I need to drop back, hopefully not get spotted by the T-34-100, and maybe I could even shoot this M10. Where is he roughly? Got to get a little closer to him. Okay, okay, okay. German snipering goodness. Okay, I've got to be careful. If I get spotted by this T-34-100, that means the AT-15 will shoot me, but hopefully I can be able to use this bush to be able to avoid getting spotted in this scenario, and then... Wham, bam. Thank you, ma'am. We managed to shut down the T-34-100. So there goes the... Is that Polish or is it Czech? I think it's a Czech tank. I think the Polish one is the CS-44 instead, right? Which is actually kind of getting nerfed with the bigger gun. Wow. What is up with me and playing these worse tanks actually okay? I'll take it. It's almost as if it's the player, not the tank, right? No, but let's be fair. The reason why these vehicles have the horrendous win ratios that they do is a lot of players, including me on my free-to-play account, play them stock. They play them with 75% crews. They play them with all of these tremendous disadvantages. And they don't have the fortune that I have, that I finished the grind on all of them, and now I can invest the extra experience that I get into field mods. And it really does help propel the vehicles to be in, I wouldn't say incredibly competitive positions, but still fairly okay ones. Alright, so I feel like my team has won this game, so I'm actually going to be a little bit cheeky here. I think this is a little too aggressive, but I'm just going to go for it for a little bit of fun. I'm going to see if I can sit hull down against the Cromwell, who actually managed to get me straight in the hull there instantly. That was a good shot. And I know that AT-15 is over there, so I'm actually going to drop back, because I reckon the Scorpion and the AT-15 are thinking, oh no, there's 10 tanks on the enemy team, and let's just go and try and get rid of this Yak Panther too. So I'm actually going to get out of there, and I think I'm going to attack from this angle instead, because I expect that these two players will go around there. Maybe I can join the TVP in managing to also get a top gun. That'll be quite fun. I think if I can manage to get maybe like one more shot in, two more shots, I'll probably end up getting an ace tanker, which would be a real fun one for a video. Wow, that AT-15 is boosting his hit points, which is kind of a valid thing to do on that vehicle, considering it's such a strong tank with regards to its HP. I mean, I got 1,150, and he started the game with over 400 hit points more than me. He's got like 40% more hit points, and hit points do win games. But it's whether the durability device is a sacrifice that means that he won't be able to maybe have the mobility in the AT-15 to actually leave his base. So that can be a little bit tricky. I'm going to switch to a gold round here, purely because I've just got a dream that this gold round is going to get me the top gun. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. And I'm willing to invest at least one gold round in trying to be able to achieve that. Nah, unfortunately, I think my team are going to make it, but that guy just got stunned. He got set on fire. Oh no, it wasn't to be. The gold round dream wasn't there. But still, a pretty darn awesome game for the Jagdpanther 2, ladies and gents. Obviously, this was a nice matchup. Don't go and do this against tier 10 tanks. It ain't gonna work. You're gonna be sent back to the garage, as they've got a lot higher alpha, they've got a lot higher pen. If they fire gold rounds, they're going to be able to go through even your superstructure. But wow, this is one of the best things about playing these awful vehicles, is that you actually can have pretty good results. Hold on, when did I do 4,093 damage? Did I blind fire someone? Who did I blind fire in that scenario? Oh, it must have been, it's the Chiri that I didn't see. Oh wow, I didn't expect that. So we actually did 4,093 damage, 10 shots, 10 hits, 10 pens, 5 kills, ace tanker. Gonna boost that up. Gonna go get another field mod. We're speed running them on all of these vehicles. What are we gonna take? Second set of equipment on this vehicle. Probably I'd end up having a build with a turbo or maybe a durability device for your kind of city maps, where you truly have to be a bit of a brawler in this. You don't really have too many opportunities to snipe. Well, nice to finish off the video today with an ace tanker. A lot like the pattern that we had in the IS the other day, where I was playing the worst tier 7 tanks. So all in all, I was actually really happy with my combined 3,100 nearly combined here, playing the worst tier 8 tanks, and 75% win ratio, winning 3 out of the 4 of those games. And also, 2.25 frags per game is decent. So what I think we really see from these kind of worst videos is that a lot of them are truly tragic. Stock, the Jagdpanther without the mobility, the Jagdpanther without the top gun. That's what's brutal about these tanks. Trust me, the OHHO, when you don't have the tracks on that vehicle, is incredibly painful. And before you manage to get the top gun and you're having to suffer with the low penetration, and more importantly, the fact that they're kind of fighting Renegades 703-2s and they're fighting Skoda T56s is what's truly outrageous about playing a tank like that. And it's the same deal for, your poor M41 Walker Bulldog. The fact that they're getting matched up against EBRs, ELC even 90s that can have 56% camo on the move and still have more view range than what you're ever possible of dreaming of. And who has like a 3 or a 4 skill crew in their Walker Bulldog, unless they've got far too much time to be able to play this game, or unless of course the Walker Bulldog is one of your favorite tanks. The advantage of premiums, the advantage of reward vehicles, is that you can have your crew in your tier 10 and drop them down and still be able to have all of the advantages. That's something that I just feel the Wargaming have a problem with that's brewing inside Tech Tree at tier 7 to tier 9. That not a lot of people are sitting really good crews in those vehicles, and with all of the field mods, all of the switching, putting some pressure up and making the premium tanks and the reward tanks more competitive than ever, it's definitely a tricky state to be playing these tanks. Anyway, ladies and gents, boys and girls, that was it for today. Really hope you enjoyed this video and that you enjoy that I'm playing the worst tanks and also Tech Tree tanks and not just featuring some more epic tier 10 high damage gameplay. If you do and you want to see more videos like this, make sure you support the video by giving it a thumbs up. But if you hated it, give it a thumbs down. And let me know what you think about this series of worst tanks at tier 8. Are you surprised the Yak Panther 2 is in there? Are you surprised that the OHHO is in there? And are there any tanks that you thought that might be on the list that was played today that weren't? And as always, thank you so much for watching. You've been epic, and hopefully I'll see you soon.